IFS Self-Leadership, a primer of basic concepts by Aion Farvahar. In Sue's example, we were able to differentiate several parts of her personality. We also noticed how each part has different agenda and strategy to influence her emotions, thoughts, and actions. Like Sue, we too have many parts in our personalities. They also compete to influence our decisions in life and dictate how we perceive ourselves and others. We have parts that are great caretakers, organizers, and doers. We also have parts that are more playful and want us to relax and enjoy life. Unfortunately, because of traumas, some of our parts can become burdened and pushed to new roles. In IFS Self-Leadership, we categorize these parts as exiles, managers, and firefighters. Let's briefly outline the main characteristics of these three categories here. Exiles. Exiles are parts of our personality that have experienced trauma, humiliation, hopelessness, fear, and loneliness, sometimes in our past, usually when we were very young and vulnerable. We all have had such traumatic experiences in life, but tend to suppress and forget them. We do that by either trying to put them behind us or isolating them through distractions. Exiles are parts of our personality that hold on to these traumatic experiences and continue to live in the time of their occurrence. They remain hurt, burdened, and always in search of redemption. But until then, our psyche continues to isolate and suppress our exiles to prevent them from re-emerging and as a result overwhelming us with negative emotional burdens they carry. Managers. Managers are parts of our personality that run our day-to-day life. They like stability and order and are happy to simply maintain the status quo in life. Their strategy is to control the situation in a preemptive way, so we never risk finding ourselves in vulnerable position to be hurt, humiliated, or rejected. They do that through controlling the environment and our interactions, appearance, emotions, thoughts, etc. Managers are also known as protectors because they want to keep our exiles isolated and protected. Managers protect exiles by monitoring our relationships and life events. For example, if we have an exile because we were rejected by someone we were once emotionally attached to, our managers try to block all emotional attachments where risk of rejection exists. Our managers want us to be perfect, pleasing, and likable, so we won't be rejected or hurt. They use worry, shaming, criticizing, and even apathy to keep us focused on status quo and deter us from adventure or taking any risk. Firefighters. Firefighters, as the name implies, are parts of our personality that come online to put out the fire. The fire here refers to a critical situation where an exile is about to emerge and overwhelm us with this emotional burden. Like managers, firefighters are also protectors because they too try to keep our exiles isolated. Firefighter parts of our personality take charge whenever our managers fail to stay in control. Our managers are diligent and dedicated to keep us safe and calm. But there are unforeseen events or circumstances that can catch them off guard, triggering one of our exiles to emerge. The main goal of our firefighters is to distract and disassociate us from our exiles and their emotional burdens. Unlike managers that are preemptive, firefighters are reactive in their approach and use everything possible to unplug us without caring about consequences. Our firefighter actions are coping behaviors to protect us from being overwhelmed by shame or negative emotions. These actions are usually impulsive and mind-numbing, such as sleeping, shopping, binge eating, drug or alcohol abuse, gambling, sexaholism, binging on TV or internet, etc. In extreme cases of shaming, firefighters' behavior can become destructive. For example, road rage, alcoholism, or even suicide. Qualities of our parts. IFS self-leadership has a very positive perspective of our personality and its parts. This is unlike majority of other psychological or coaching approaches, where parts of our personality are vilified, shut down, and labeled as inferior or deficient. To highlight this positive perspective, we list some of the key qualities of our parts here. These qualities hold true irrespective of the roles our parts play and how they manifest. Our parts are all valuable and inseparable dimensions of our personality. Our parts have good intentions and always look for ways to protect us in the best way they can. Our parts are fully aware of each other and interact internally, like we do with each other in daily life. Our parts can become burdened and destructive, but only as a result of traumatic life experiences. Our parts may form alliance or polarization to collaborate or compete with each other respectively. Our parts have the mind of their own, but they're also objective and will adjust to changes in our life circumstances. Our parts are open to respond to us and express their point of view when asked and given the opportunity. Our parts have their own agenda and usually need mediation to operate in full harmony with each other. The need for mediation in the last sentence is important to highlight because personality parts have their own agendas. They always find themselves in either alliance, competition, or polarization with each other. Self. Our parts are intelligent, but highly myopic and narrow in their perspective. So despite their good intentions, parts are unable to see our personality and well-being as a whole. If our parts are for themselves and unable to coexist in harmony with each other, how would we be able to invite and cultivate that harmony in our psyche and our lives? That is where self comes to rescue through its mediation. Self with a capital S is an aspect of our psyche that is fundamentally different from our subpersonality parts we discussed so far. As the name reveals, self is the core and innermost essence of our being that transcends beyond normal aspects of our personality and ego consciousness. The concept of self may not lend itself well in words, but fortunately is seated deeply inside us and can be experienced directly by virtually all of us. The practice of IFS model can be imaginative and inspiring. Many who witnessed the healing power and the positive effects of the IFS self-leadership have incorporated it into their daily life as a psycho-spiritual way of seeing themselves and the world around them. The model continues to extend its well-deserved and respected place, not only as an effective approach in psychotherapy and coaching, but also as a hopeful and life-promoting path, and as a refreshing perspective in life.